Okay. 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 What's poppin', people? How the hell are you doing? I hope you've had a fantastic day. Raptors, Bulls on right now, and then in about an hour and a half or so, my Oklahoma City Thunder face the Pelicans in the playoffs. And
are the Pelicans a good team or what?
Pelicans, yeah, I mean, but they don't have Zion. I mean, Zion Williamson can never stay healthy. I think that's the problem.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you guys know me, I don't really know basketball. I watch the playoffs. Once the playoffs is on, I'll watch it. I'll support it. But I don't really know, don't really follow throughout the season. But yeah, I'm watching the Bulls Raptors right now. Definitely entertaining. So let's see.
Yeah, the Pelicans, 42-40 this year. CJ McCollum is kind of their the engine room, if you will. He makes things kind of run. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, like, it's a good team, but Zion just can't stay healthy to save his freaking life. But I'm hoping my Thunder can get into the playoffs. That would be cool to see. We were in the playoffs for like a decade, and then we started rebuilding last year. Took a year off from the playoffs, and here we are. We're back.
Took a year off, and now we're back. That's all that matters.
So thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. What's up, Harmon? What's up, Loy Bonif? This will be Superflex. What's up, Kev? What's up, Steel? What's up, Sam? What's up, everybody? Let us know who's hanging out. What's up, Office Depot? What's up, Shimmy? Good to see you guys. Apparently, Zion said yesterday he was healthy, but he's being a punk and resting. Dang.
All right.
So, guys, we are doing a 2023 Dynasty rookie draft today. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're hanging out with us. I hope you've had a great day and you're ready for an even better, hopefully even better stream. I mean, this could be, Badake, technically speaking, this could be the worst stream we've ever had. But I anticipate it being a good stream, and I'm glad that everyone is here with us experiencing
it's not the worst. It's not the worst stream because y'all all here.
Exactly.
Change of perspective.
Wow.
Talk it up.
Let's be
different today. Let's be special today.
With you guys here, we can't go wrong. So it is the 13th for us. We are in the future. I'm going to set up this mock draft, but while I'm doing that, Badake, can you tell people how they can join today's mock draft?
That's right, guys. Join our Discord, link in the description below or in the chat, as you can see there. Go to join our Discord, go to DynastyLand tab that has the orange footballs. Go to content releases, and that's exactly where I'll be posting the link. Every single time I'm going to be posting a link in content releases on the DynastyLand channel. So once again, join our Discord, DynastyLand tab with the orange footballs. Go to content releases, and that's exactly how you'll be able to get in. It is first come, first serve. We go live Monday through Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, as always. And it is first come, first serve. So if you don't get in today, it's okay. We're going to be working on some mock drafts a lot. Okay, so
yeah,
come through, and I can't wait. How many days until the NFL draft? Somebody put it in the chat.
It's got to be like 15 now, 14. Let's ask Google. How many days?
It's like a week from. It's 2 weeks from today,
NFL
isn't it?
Draft.
Well,
it's 15 days.
Tomorrow.
15 days. 15 days, people. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus. Code name. Santa's got a brand new bag.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and send out that link for people to join? While you're doing that, what's up, Proofy? What's up, Kyle? Go Supersonics. You're funny. Hit that like button. Still says appreciate you. Santa.
All right, send the link out.
Santa.
3, 2. There you go.
While Badake is sending the link out, please do us a favor and hit that like button. Just the easiest way to support the show. If we get to our like goal, which is 100 likes today, we will pop off a second mock draft for you guys, a whole new group of people. So if you want to see bonus content today, help us get to that like goal of 100. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. It does mean more than you know. Okay, we are using the landing spots from Draft Tech today. And I will go ahead, unless we have a better one, but I mean, I don't think we would have a better one at this point.
I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone that has that has a better one right now.
Yeah, let's go with this one for now. I just put it in the chat. If you refresh, it's also now in the description of this video if you refresh it. But it's also in the chat, the landing spots that we're using for today. But let's quickly just review them. So we have a lot of spam. I hate how many pop-ups are on this website. Okay, so Bryce Young is a Panther. CJ Stroud is a Texan. I keep saying, man, I think it's Bryce Young. We'll see. Anthony Richardson is a Seahawk. That is very cool. Very interesting. Wait, did we not use this mock draft?
I don't know. What do you mean? Like for
the one quarterback?
I feel like we did. No, we did not this one.
Okay, well, here we are.
It's okay.
Anthony Richardson is a Seahawk, which that is a very, very cool landing spot. I mean, that's hot. That's fire hot. I love it.
Super hot fire.
Will Levis goes to the Colts. Then we see, let's see, the next offensive player is Jackson Smith-Njigba to the Titans. Quentin Johnston to the Texans, rather, excuse me. Then we see, let's see, the next offensive player looks to be, let's see, Bijan Robinson to the Chargers. We definitely just made a video and accidentally put Anthony Richardson to the
Texans.
To the Titans.
Titans,
I'm just realizing that right now. Anyway, we're going to have to, I mean, it is what it is. Darnell Washington goes to the Bills. Dalton Kincaid to the Bengals. Michael Mayer to the Saints. And then we get into the second round where we see those wide receivers fall. Zay Flowers goes to the Cardinals. Jordan Addison to the Colts. Then we see, let's see, the next player is Jahmyr Gibbs, who goes to the Titans. So he links up with JSN in Tennessee. Jalen Hyatt to the Packers. Josh Downs to the Patriots. Hendon Hooker to the Commanders. Michael Wilson, who I've shown some love to recently, to the Steelers. Then we've got, I believe, in the second round, Luke Musgrave to the Cowboys. Let's see. And then we get into the third round here, where we see Rashee Rice to the Broncos, Sam Laporta to the Raiders, Zach Kuntz to the Texans, Tucker Kraft to the Rams. Let's see. The Tank Dell to the Seahawks, Devin A-Chain to the Dolphins, Jaden Reed to the Chargers, Kayshon Boutte to the Ravens, Cedric Tillman to the Giants, Tyler Scott to the Cowboys, Zach Charbonnet to the Bengals, Marvin Mims to the Panthers, Jonathan Mingo to the Eagles, Trey Palmer to the Chiefs, and I believe now we get into the Xavier Hutchinson also to the Niners, into the fourth round where we see Chase Brown going to the Texans, A.T. Perry to the Falcons, Parker Washington to the Browns, Tajay Spears to the Falcons, Zach Evans to the Browns, Israel Abanikanda to the Giants, Rashawn Johnson to the Cowboys, and then to the fifth round where we see just notable names. Let's talk really quickly. What I really wanted to show people about this mock draft is more specifically where Tank Dell went. He went in the 6th to the Rams, so keep that in mind when we're drafting today. And then two other names would be Sean Tucker. He went in the 7th to the Jags. Keep that in mind. Kendre Miller, he went in the 7th to the Packers. So keep those things in mind. Superflex, Dynasty, Rookie, Draft, PPR, non-tight end premium. Take as much time as you want, and we'll pause after each round. So,
as always, baby.
Bijan goes at the 101, and I'm up on the clock. My quarterback one is Bryce Young. I will take him here at the 1-2. I have seen, I wouldn't say like in our community specifically, but in a lot of communities out there, we're seeing Bryce Young now as the third quarterback off the board typically in rookie drafts. He is still my one. In this scenario, he goes to the Panthers, and I would really love him linking up in Carolina with that coaching staff. But yeah, I'll take Bryce Young at the 1-2. Still my quarterback one in the class.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Then there goes CJ Stroud, my QB1 in the class. He goes to the Texans.
Yep.
Sorry, Titans. No, Texans.
Yeah,
You're right.
you're right.
He goes to the Texans here in the second pick. Richardson goes to the Seahawks, and I am on the clock here. Where did this guy go? Well,
What's up, Joe? Welcome
okay.
in, man. Definitely could happen, man. Bryce could definitely fall in one quarterback box. Charbonnet to
You
the
know me, I
Bengals
gotta
does
take my
look
guy
nice.
here. I'll take Quentin going to the Texans as well, linking up with CJ Stroud. Clearly going to be the wide receiver 1 there. Love this landing spot for QJ.
Yeah. So Quentin off the board. Average to the Seahawks. Thanks, I hate it, Steven says. Oh my goodness.
Thanks, I hate it.
Okay, so the first 6 picks have gone. Average at the 1-4. Man, Average to the Seahawks is that really makes you think, doesn't it? That really makes your wheels start to churn there. The offensive line that they're building, the weapons around him. I'm not so sure. Yeah, Ken Walker. I'm just not so sure that Pete Carroll would be there long term. Like, you probably sit A-Rich for a year with Geno, maybe 2. I know that sounds crazy, but there's a lot of room for growth.
I would say I don't understand how they would. I don't understand. Okay, wait, what? Well, Dalton went in the first.
This is not tight end premium. I don't know. I'm not sure. Dalton Kincaid here at the 1-7. Who knows? But do you know what I mean? Like, is Pete Carroll gonna be? Is Pete Carroll gonna be there for A-Rich? You kind of have to start asking questions with how old he is.
Well, I'm not even thinking about A-Rich. I'm thinking about the money that they invested in Geno.
He's a good bridge quarterback.
Geno's
Pete Carroll is 71 years old, by the way.
Geno has gotten 40 million, which is 27.3 million fully guaranteed at signing. So I don't see how they just say thank you so much. They do have an out after 2024. So I feel like they're gonna have to pay Geno this year, hypothetically, if they were to draft him.
Yeah.
And have him play, and then 2024 they cut him with the out. But that dead cap is 17 million. Nearly 17.5 million they would have to use.
Well, I don't even think that they need. I think you can see this contract out and have him as someone who helps develop Anthony Richardson, who starts the first year, that kind of thing. But yeah, you have to ask questions about who's the coaching staff. What's the coaching staff look like long term there? Because Pete is 71. Who is the oldest coach to ever coach ever? That's what I'm curious about. Oldest.
I feel like it's Tom Coughlin.
Head coach ever. How old was Tom Coughlin?
I feel like he was in his maybe he was like in his 60s, late 50s, early 60s. I want to say. That's just the first head coach that came to mind, but Pete is definitely up there.
Preview says, for viewers who are watching every day, does Badake seem just a little more quiet than everything on the stream? Let me bring his volume up. Hold on, don't change it on your side.
I'm not. I'm just gonna bring my mic maybe a little bit closer to me.
Let me see if does anyone also feel that same way? I've just moved your volume up a little bit, so go ahead and talk. Let's see.
Check. How we feeling? How we doing? Does this feel a little bit better?
I always want to make sure that we have the kind of equal volume for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult, and like it's also for me as well. Like I'm looking at the stream, and it looks like my image is buffering, like just constantly buffering, and I don't know why, but
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a bad day for internet, whether that's my side or your side, to capture my image. So audio's good now, equal level.
Okay. So we're about to be at the end of the first round, and we will definitely have a lot to talk about, I think. George Hallis, by the way, was 72 years old in 1967. Romeo Crennel was 73. I think he's the oldest NFL coach. Okay, so let's talk about this first round for a second. Dalton Kincaid at the 1-7. This isn't tight end premium, but Badake, I would go out on a limb and say even in a tight end premium format, this is far too early. Got to go Levis and Superflex over Kincaid. Got to go Gibbs, in my opinion. I'm probably still going Addison and Flowers. Maybe you can start to have the conversation at the 1-11. I'm not sure, but that feels far too early for me, for my liking.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely a bit early, and I know he's probably looking. He saw this. He was like, "Well, Dalton Kincaid got first round draft capital," but you bet on. Even then, I like Jordan Addison's landing spot. I like Zay Flowers' landing spot. I like Will Levis' landing spot. And all those guys, without a doubt, will get a workload. Same with Dalton Kincaid. But yeah, I think the 107 is just a bit too early ahead of all those guys. I would have been okay, taking him over Michael Mayer at the 112, right? That would have been good. Jahmyr Gibbs goes here. Where's Jahmyr Gibbs goes in this mock draft?
He goes to the Titans.
He goes to the Titans. Like even Jahmyr Gibbs to the Titans, taking over Derrick Henry. Even if it's not for this year or next year, right? You just see the workload and you see the pathway there for someone like Gibbs over Dalton Kincaid. So that's what I would say.
Yeah.
You're on the clock here, by the way.
I am seconds. On the clock, yep. So I think this is probably where I take Devin A-Chain. Oh wait, Charbonnet is still there. Oh my God, Charbonnet is still available?
Yep. Devin.
Oh, that's a no-brainer then. Okay, so Devin went at the 112. He goes to the Dolphins in the third round. Charbonnet goes to the Bengals in the third round. I'm kind of just shocked that Charbonnet was there. That's my bad. I assumed he was gone. But yeah, he lands with the Bengals. Hey, who knows what's going on with Joe Mixon, honestly. If Joe Mixon is still on this team, that's really unfortunate for Charbonnet. But if he's not, Charbonnet is stepping into one of the best offenses and is probably their starter from day one, keeping in mind that they did also lose Samaje Perine. So, yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer for me.
It is. It's third round capital, not exactly what we were hoping and agreeing for. We were hoping at least he gets second round capital, but going in the third to a landing spot that we both like, I mean, you still have to take him. You still have to take him here at the 202.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. By the way, guys, our like goal for today is 100 likes. If you help us get there, we're going to give you some more content. We're going to do a second mock draft on today's stream. So go ahead and be a friend. Hit that like button. Definitely appreciate all the love and the support thus far. Your support does mean a lot. You like that? So if you like the content, help us out. Help us get to that goal together. Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked that Charbonnet was there at the 202.
Yeah. What can you do? What can you do,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an oversight for some people. A little bit different for some people today. Let's see where Tyreek goes here at the 203. Okay, another one here.
Okay.
Reed goes to... Where does he go?
So he goes to the Chargers in the third round. Look, Reed to me is a guy like in the mid-third I'm excited to target there. I don't think I can justify early second. Like even if it's like a get your guy type scenario, I think you probably could have gotten him at the 3-4. Or sorry, the 3-3. feels a little too early with the options that are available out there.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. But there goes Hendon Hooker.
Yeah,
Quarterback
I
in
would.
the second round.
Hooker's probably a great option from the 2-3 onwards.
Yeah, I would agree there. Okay, I got a couple options here. I think I'm gonna take the guy that I took in this video that we just made.
Jalen Hyatt's still available as well, by the way.
He is still available. Jalen Hyatt went to the Packers. I guess you guys know how we feel about Hyatt, but I'll take this guy. I spoke about him in the video. I want to speak about him here a little bit. I won't go too much in depth. I think for the one quarterback game, definitely go watch it. But I'll take Big Roscoe here at the 2-6.
Okay.
He goes to the Dallas Cowboys in the 4th round. And best thing I would say is that I see a workload in this scenario for Roscoe. He's the big body back. He takes over the Zeke role, in my opinion. And this is exactly what the Cowboys want, a big body running back that can be a 1-2 punch for Dak Prescott out there. So
yeah,
go watch the video as it comes out, but I don't want to go too much into it. But Roscoe is definitely a guy I would take here.
Yeah. Remind me where Tajay Spears goes.
Tajay went to the Falcons in the 4th.
In the 4th, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can take a shot on him there. That makes sense. Yeah, like for me, there's a lot of running backs I'm taking shots on here in this second round. In fact, I would be like, if this is how it panned out, I would probably imagine that there's like 6 to 8 running backs drafted in the second round. If this were to be their real landing spots.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely a very interesting mock draft, and this is a mock draft that tests you. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys don't get the draft capital that we want, that we have expected, and you're gonna have to understand, where the value goes. A lot of these running backs that we're hoping to get second round capital, Tajay, Zach Evans, Izzy, second or third, they all go in the 4th round, right? Roscoe goes in the 4th round as well. Sean Tucker goes in the 7th round. A lot of these guys don't get the capital that you want, and some of the guys that we weren't expecting to get the capital that goes in the 3rd, like the Tyler Scotts, maybe like the Jalen Reeds, like the Tank Dells, all go in the 3rd. The Jonathan Mingos all go in the 3rd round. It's like, okay, well, what does that look like? How do we have to pivot there? So
yeah,
it's tough
for sure. Sam says, "Listen, someone's got to be spicy." I hear you, Sam. I just think Kincaid over those guys a little too spicy for me. A little too much heat.
A bit spicy.
A little bit too spicy for me, but I hear you, man. I hear you.
Super hot fire,
Super hot fire hot. Israel, Abanikanda forever. I watched Wakanda Forever pretty recently as I was like falling asleep. That end scene with the Rihanna song "Lift Me Up." Oof. I know it's fictional, but damn,
it's real. It's
real.
That
hits you in a place that
it's real.
Yeah, that hits you hard. That hits you hard. What's up, some guy? Cheers. Welcome in, man. Yeah, perfect.
He's just some guy.
Yeah. It's just some guy in the chat.
Just some guy. And that's
who told you that, man? Some guy.
Just want some guy. You know what? You're more than just some guy. Some guy. Yeah. Change your name. Change your name to somebody.
King says, "Guess I'm not supposed to be asking advice tonight." Guys, I feel like we say this pretty consistently, but I'll say it again. We try our best to keep up with the chat. Okay? We always try our best. We always guarantee to try our best, but we can't guarantee that we're going to answer every single question. What we do say is that if you do want something absolutely replied to straight away, you can drop a super chat of any amount and we will do that for you. But we try and have good vibes. We try and keep up with the mock draft. We try and talk to you guys in the chat as much as we possibly can. Okay. But if we were to reply to every question in the chat, you got to keep in mind that we would only be talking about, do I trade this player? do I make this trade? You know, that's all we would talk about the entire draft. So just keep that in mind. We're trying to get good vibes. We're trying to talk about the content, talk about the picks, and connect with you as much as possible.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, half court shot there at halftime by Van Fleet. Bang!
Van Vliet. Hey, and is anyone out there like Badake and I use Streamlabs? I want to improve Badake's image quality. I just don't know how. They have this thing called Collab Stream. Let's go ahead and pause and talk about this second round here. They have this thing called Collab Stream, but it's got a lot of bugs. Anyway, right now we're just using Discord and screen sharing basically. So I want to make his video look better, but it's tough at the moment.
It's tough.
So let us know if you have any ideas. But let's talk about this second round, Badake.
Yep.
Who, in your mind, if you had to choose, who went too high? Who was the steal of the second round?
I would definitely say Reed was too high, the 2-3, and I would say Michael Mayer was a steal at the 2-4 actually. Going to the New Orleans Saints in the first round, linking up there with Derek Carr. We've seen the history of Derek Carr in a tight end there before with Darren Waller. Not only does he get Michael Mayer, but you have Chris Olave there and some of these guys. Michael Mayer could definitely easily steps into this role as tight end 1 with the Saints. So I really think that's a steal. Usually he goes at the 2-1. I would say he could even gone at the 112 in this mock draft. So that would be my steal. In the reach, I would say it was Reed. Reed goes to the Chargers in the third. Is he just more of a special teams guy in the third? Does he kind of take over? What role does he take over? Is it Josh Palmer role? Is it who's the other guy in over there? Carter.
DeAndre Carter. Yeah, that's what I keep thinking that's the role he's going to take, is that DeAndre Carter role, because I don't think Palmer's like a significantly better talent, but I don't think you keep Palmer off the field if you're Jaden Reed.
Exactly. So
I mean, I'm going to toot my own horn, but I didn't do anything for it to happen. But Charbonnet at the 202 feels like, a very good value. I would also say that Musgrave at the 2-8. I'm not going to say it's a good value, but I think it's a good pick. This is why I'm hesitant to draft tight ends in the first round, because we have Luke Musgrave, who was a second round pick to the Cowboys, and you get him at, mid to late second round. And, this dude, I think he was clocked running 20 miles per hour at the pro day. He's a freak athlete. He has all the qualities to be a dominating fantasy tight end. The next great tight end, 6'6", 250. To be able to get him at the mid to late second round, I mean, that's why I feel, again, why I'm struggling to go tight ends earlier. But yeah, great landing spot for him. Unfortunately for my Jake Ferguson shares, it might be it's a tough thing to get over, but I think that's also a good pick. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get into the third round. If you want to see a second mock draft tonight, go ahead and smash that like button for us. If we get 100 likes, that's our goal. If we get 100 likes, we're giving you bonus content, which is another stream, another mock draft, on this same stream tonight.
That's right,
baby. Whole new group of people. But let's go ahead and start this third round here. And let me actually take my time, because I was really focused on the second round there and trying to give some good feedback. So let me take my time, Badake, and you do your
take
thing.
your time. Do your thing, brother. You gotta go for some players. Daniel says, "What's the plan for draft night? You guys going live?" We're gonna go live right after the draft. That's the plan right now. Where what we're gonna be doing is popping off a couple of mock drafts right after the first round, just to get a feel, understanding. You gotta kind of get our thought process. We would go live for the actual NFL draft, but I just think that there's so many good people out there. There's just plus we just want to watch it. We just want to watch it ourselves. You know, it's kind of hard to create conversation. You expect a lot of people really want to watch the draft instead of watching us. So,
I mean,
yeah, just stay tuned.
I would rather watch the real draft than us. You know,
No, I think
damn right, we're gonna be mock drafting. We're gonna be doing rookie mock drafts. Like after each round, you're gonna see rookie mock drafts. We'll be live. Definitely stay tuned to the channel during the draft, just like after the draft. So once you've heard all the experts talk, let's hop on a live stream. Let's see what it looks like with all these new landing spots.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised at the options I have here at the 3-2. Like, to me, the 3-2 in this very specific scenario holds a lot of value with what's available to me. And I love Zach Evans. I get to take a shot on him here in the 3rd round. He goes to the Cleveland Browns. I anticipate him taking the Kareem Hunt role. All indications from not only the Browns, but every NFL team is that Kareem Hunt's, you're kind of done, man. There's not much left in the tank is what people are saying. Zach Evans steps into that Kareem Hunt role. We have seen Nick Chubb, who has been injured. I mean, multiple seasons where he's been injured, has missed 5-6 games. Dearness Johnson is gone. So really it's Jerome Ford and Zach Evans. I will put, as much as I love Jerome Ford, I will put Zach Evans as kind of the driver's seat for that RB2 role. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by the landing spot, and I'll take Zach Evans there at the 3-2.
Yeah.
Jalen Hyatt goes off the board. Tank Bigsby at the 3-4. Tank didn't go until the 6th round. Is that right?
Yeah, he didn't go to the 6th round to the Rams.
And Sean Tucker goes in the 7th round here to the Jets. I don't personally think we can draft those guys over the running backs available. I wouldn't do it, at least is what I would say.
Yeah, I would agree there. All right, I'm going to go Richie Rice. Richie Rich, I call him, going to the Denver Broncos. He went to the Broncos in the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he goes to the Broncos in the 3rd. And it just makes sense, you know, with maybe Cortland Sutton walks, he could kind of replace Cortland Sutton there. They do have an out in Cortland's contract at the end of 2024. So I'm happy to take a shot here at the 3-6.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised at a name that's still on the board, man. I thought you might draft him.
I think they usually fall. That's why I'm okay with it. But maybe you're thinking about it.
The name that I'm thinking about typically goes late 2nd.
Okay.
I'm a little bit surprised by the picks so far.
There's two people that I think you're thinking about, and I said the one in the video. So I'm not in love with the landing spot. And the other one, he usually falls. So let's see what happens.
I'm a little bit surprised. Let's see how these picks go. But yeah, I mean, so Sean Tucker, keep in mind, guys, he's a 7th round pick. Is that right? Yeah, to the Jags. Sean Tucker goes in the 7th round. I can't even consider him until the 4th round, if that actually happens. Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's just my opinion. Could be wrong. Let's see what Anselmo does here. Anselmo.
Probably looking at the draft right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. New Call of Duty update tonight, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
So Sam Laporta goes off. That's definitely someone I was thinking. He goes to the Raiders in the 3rd.
Yep, that's one player.
That's your instant Darren Waller replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Our Proofy says, "Are you boys buying the YouTube NFL package?"
I don't know.
You know, one of the perks of actually living outside of America is you get a much better deal for something called NFL Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
There,
which is essentially
Brown at the 3-9. Just quickly, Chase Brown at the 3-9 went in the 4th round to the Texans. Same capital as Dameon Pierce. I just don't think he can fall that far. But I don't think you can take a 7th round Tucker over a 4th round Chase Brown. a sixth round Tank Bigsby over a fourth round Chase Brown. I was considering Chase Brown at the 3-3. But yeah, on the YouTube NFL package, we don't really. The only perk of being outside of America and watching the NFL is that you have access to something called the NFL Game Pass, International NFL Game Pass, which you can watch every game live. You can watch NFL Red Zone. You can watch
multiple games,
Hard
Knocks,
Knocks, NFL Network. You can watch 4 games at a time, I think. It's called NFL Game Pass, and it I think, how much is it, Badake? Is it like 200 Australian, which is like 130 US
like for the year.
Yeah, it's crazy good.
So it's a really good offer, and think of it as your NFL Plus. But apparently, I haven't used NFL Plus, but apparently NFL Plus, you can only have certain games. You don't have all the games.
Yeah, that's what I've heard because of the rights, the TV rights, the TV deals.
Which is so weird. So right now, NFL Game Pass is definitely the best offer. Like, why would I have NFL Plus if I can't watch all the games? That's stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So NFL Game Pass here in Australia or anywhere outside of America is great, but the NFL ticket on YouTube, I don't know what that looks like for us. I don't know what that costs for us. I don't know if that's going to be an option for international.
I don't think it will be option international. I think it's just replacing DirecTV basically in America.
Right. Okay.
I think international Game Pass will remain the same because in America, you have to deal with the TV deals, but those TV companies don't offer that outside of America. Drew said, "Man, thank you so much for being a member for 11 months. Appreciate you." He says, "Jameson over Amon-Ra. It's spicy. It's spicy." I'll say this. I think Jameson Williams is a better prospect. I don't know who is going to be more valuable in Dynasty in 2 years, but I think Jameson Williams is a better prospect. Amon-Ra just already has the hold, and he's proven that he is one of the best at the position right now. But I do love me some Jameson. I mean, look, you can't look. I love Jameson Williams. You're talking to the right guy. By the way, Michael Wilson at the 311 is also one hell of a steal. Michael Wilson was a second-round pick in this mock draft. Went to the Steelers. That's what sucks. But Michael Wilson at the 311. That is. Let's talk about this third round here for a second. In my opinion, that is probably the steal of the third round.
Wilson in the second.
Michael Wilson there.
Or in the third, and getting drafted in the second. Yeah, makes sense.
I would say he is probably the steal of the draft there. That's a great pick. I will put Chase Brown in the conversation as well at the 3-9. What stood out to you about this third round here before we get into the fourth?
Well, I think we kind of hit on it earlier. Tank and Sean Tucker going in the third and fourth. I think it's just way too early. Guys, remember, we're going based off draft capital. We're going based off of this mock draft, and we're really trying to stay true to it and what we would do in a real life scenario. So taking Tank and Sean Tucker over some of these guys is definitely difficult. I would also say to hit on Chase Brown, because I didn't put my 2 cents in that. I'm not in love with the landing spot. I know Dameon Pierce is there. But I think Dameon, from what we saw, is going to be the overall workhorse there, and maybe Chase Brown is a pass catching guy. So I'm not saying that Chase Brown is going to be will be irrelevant. It's not going to be the vision that I had for him going to a team, going there with Dameon Pierce. So hey, I could be wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. So we just got to wait and see what that looks like. But I would also say, I think that's about it. Where did Trey Palmer go?
Chiefs.
He went to the Chiefs. Okay. I mean, I find it a little bit difficult to envision him being something there. I mean, there's so many Trey Palmers on that team already.
Yeah, exactly.
With Sky, Kadarius. I guess mold and build, I would say. I think he'll be more of a special teams guy.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, let's get into this fourth round. Guys, if you want to see us do a second mock draft on tonight's stream, help us hit our like goal of 100. We only need 10 likes to hit that like goal tonight. Thank you for the love, for the support thus far. There's a couple options I have here. And I don't want to like say multiple names and then, one goes right after, because that's typically what happens.
Take a shot here in the fourth as well.
I think I take a shot on Tyler Scott here at the 4-2. He goes to the Cowboys in the third round. Maybe this is your Brandon Cooks replacement long term, a guy who can stretch the field for you. I think he's a very limited prospect. He's got speed for sure, but I think he's a very limited prospect. But you put him in that offense, and he can definitely stretch the field for you. And eventually, if Brandon Cooks is going to age, maybe he can be this complementary piece that stands out. Cannot be worse than Jalen Tolbert. It can't get worse than what happened to Jalen Tolbert.
Oh my gosh, he gave everyone the Ooka-dooks. That's what he did.
Jalen Tolbert's why I have trust issues in my everyday life.
It was bad. I think the whole fantasy world, if you were into fantasy, we were all on the same page about Jalen Tolbert. There was no doubt about it.
Like he's a value for sure.
Oh,
get him on your team in the second round.
Your mother could have said, you know what? Yeah, it's him. It's him. He's gonna be somebody. GG's.
Yeah.
and then he did he even play a game? He did.
I think he played like one game.
Did.
Yeah, I think he played like one game.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go Eric Gray here. He goes to the Bears in the 5th round. I like this spot for him. And shout out to all the Khalil Herbert guys, believers. I'm not saying I think Eric Gray is gonna take over this workload. I'm saying don't be surprised if he gets some sort of opportunity. In this backfield. It'd probably be a 60-40 at first or a 70-30. So I really like Eric Gray here. And he was drafted 1 round higher than Khalil Herbert. So be careful.
I think it's a good pick. There's still a name that I was considering at the 4-2. And I think the landing spot isn't obvious. I think that's why he's still like the landing spot isn't like a, oh my God, that's incredible type landing spot. But I really like this prospect, and I'm surprised he's still on the board here into the 4th. If Tyler Scott was off the board, I think he would have been my pick. Let's see if anyone takes him. Sam, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Really, really appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. There he goes. Tucker Kraft went in the 3rd round to the Rams. Aselmo just said, let me get as many tight ends as I can. This is tight end university right here. Okay. But I think it's a great pick there. Obviously in a real rookie draft, this would be awful strategy. But if you're just going best player available, then I think this makes sense. But you don't want to leave a rookie draft with 3 tight ends. Let's be very clear about that. Purely roster construction. Sam, thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Very kind of you.
Man. Appreciate you.
Do you guys think Rashid Shaheed and Chika Okonkwo could be a consistently safe last flex spot starter in a 10-team super flex, or will it have to depend on the week? I don't want to speak for you, Badake, but I think you and I would be on the same page in saying we have to find out what happens in the draft first.
Yeah. And that's exactly where I was going to go.
We need to make sure that the Saints don't draft a wide receiver in the 2nd or that, last pick or their 1st round pick at pick 29. Even if the Saints draft a wide receiver in like the mid rounds, there's reason to, be slightly concerned. And I brought a video about Rashid Shaheed recently as a great buy low, as someone that you should hold, but I'm still skeptical. Let's say this: the Saints don't draft a wide receiver until the 5th or 6th round. I feel like Shaheed has a great chance of having a breakout season. When I say breakout, like a top 35 finish. Right. I think that's within the realm of possibilities. Is that someone you can flex? Probably not consistently.
Okay.
Is what I would say.
I would say I can definitely see that, and I would say the person that's more at risk out of those two, I would say would be Shaheed. I
Sure.
feel like Chig, not saying that they can't draft a tight end. I'm saying I think they have so many other needs and so many other priorities that Chig could just be a guy they can rock with for one more year. Where Shaheed and the Saints, that's a massive weakness. There was a time last year where the Saints had no wide receivers that were healthy. And it was just like, bro, whoever can go out there can play, please. Like that's what it was for the Saints at one point.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, the tight ends probably do draft a wide receiver. They probably get a quarterback. They probably get a running back, but I don't see a tight end in that mix. And if that tight end is in that mix, I would say fourth round, third round. And then it all depends on who that talent is. So I would say if I had to put my money on it, I would say Chig has the safest ceiling at the moment, but it's not high. It's not high at all. But I would put my money that Chig could be the guy that can help you.
I actually would like go further. If the question is who's the safer flex option, I definitely agree with you. I'm gonna go Chig there, but I would take it further. Like he, in my opinion, if they don't draft the tight end, he's a legit starting tight end next year for fantasy. Will be one of my favorite tight ends to draft in redraft leagues.
Where was he
But
drafted
I was
again?
actually looking at this recently, Badake. Let me try and find this.
So
I was
just to
looking at
keep in
receiving
mind-
grades on PFF from last year's season, and I put a minimum of 30 targets in there. If you look at receiving grades, Chig, a minimum of 30 targets, had the third best receiving grade amongst tight ends. Better than Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews, David Njoku, Kyle Pitts, Pat Freiermuth, TJ Hawkinson, Darren Waller. Like he was, in the limited action he got, he was quite impressive. I think they found something. I agree with you. I think that he will be an important part of their offense. Weirdly enough, he spent more time in line than he did in the slot or out wide, which is so strange to me because he doesn't seem like a typical inline tight end. I almost feel like you're right. They're probably going to go offensive line if they don't trade up for a quarterback, and you're probably going to see Chig outside. I think he will be your slot, playing a little bit out wide more than he is in line here next year. But even if you look at yards after catch, again, tight ends with a minimum of 30 targets, he is first in yards after catch per reception. If you look at yards per route run, minimum of tight ends with 30 targets, he is first in yards per route run. If you look at average depth of target, he's up there like in the top 15 amongst the tight end position. So he's a name to me that I think if the Titans don't draft the tight end, I think I'm like all in on Chig to the point where I'm probably sending like a late second for him. So I just wanted to like even further advocate for what you're saying about Chig. Yards per reception, the highest amongst any tight end with 30 targets. He had a season that, and you've talked about this before in a video, but just diving into it even further, like his season was a little bit more impressive than we give credit to.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. So I think he could definitely be a building block, a foundation to this rebuild that this Titan team is kind of moving towards at the moment. So he's tight end 15 currently, according to the community. So he's valued pretty high, I would say, for a guy that kind of got his momentum going in the second half of the season. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Chig, and I would bet that I would bet Chig over Rashid.
Same for sure.
Any day at the moment. So.
No, I definitely agree. Hey guys, we hit our like goal of 100. Thank you so much for helping us get there. Really, really do appreciate you guys. We're going to do another mock draft with you guys right now. If they want to join us, Badake, how can they do so?
Join our Discord, link in the description, or link is going to be in the chat here. Once again, join our Discord, go to DynastyLand, tab with the orange footballs. Go to content releases. This is the easiest way to join and the fastest way to join. Usually the second mock draft as well is significantly easier to join. So you're going to have an opportunity here. I'm going to join this mock. Did you send that to me as well?
Dang, I sent it to you or my wife?
Probably sent it to your wife, not me. Again. But yes, DynastyLand tab. Go to content releases, and that's exactly where I'll be posting the link. I'm going to pick a spot and I'll send this to you guys here.
By the way, to answer Ryan's question is, where did Evan Holt go in this mock? I believe he went in the 5th or 6th round to the Raiders.
To the Raiders, yep.
Yeah, he went in the, what round is this?
He went in the 6th round.
Is that 6th? Yeah.
He went 204, 205 to the Raiders.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm gonna send this link out once again. Discord, Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs, content releases. Then that's where you can get the link. 3, 2, there you go.
But yeah, I think I need to make a video about Chig.
Chiggy Chig, brother.
I think I need to make a video about him.
Here we go.
All right, we are full.
Got a couple new faces here. Icy, Tack, Andy. I don't think did it with Andy.
I did a Madden franchise with the Panthers, Badake, and I ended up trading.
You play Madden?
Trading up, yeah. I didn't
even know you had Madden. You got the new one?
Yeah, it's not new anymore. It's Madden 23. It's very old, and they don't have like that new field sense for PC. It's so hilarious. Like PC can handle more than your average console, but they don't implement the features anyway. I just love like doing Madden rebuilds. I've thought about making a channel just doing Madden rebuilds at one point actually, but I love doing Madden rebuilds. I'll do like one a month pretty much. And I did the Panthers. I drafted Bryce Young. Got Bryce Young. Miles Sanders was there already. Brought Miles Sanders in. And then Adam Thielen. It was a nice. I also drafted Luke Musgrave in the 3rd round.
Okay.
And nice little core. We're doing good things. Doing good things in Carolina, in case anyone cares. We're going to use the same landing spots from the mock draft we just used. I'll paste it here in the chat. And it's also in the description below. But let's go ahead and get this thing started. 60 seconds on the clock. Yeah. S. Harris, thank you so much for the super chat, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Very, very kind of you. I have the 104 in my upcoming Superflex rookie draft. Crazy to want JSN over Anthony Richardson. I think that question for me is really going to come down to draft capital and landing spot. Right now, my 104 is very much in the air between A-Rich and JSN. I think JSN is... Like, people say that there's no elite wide receiver prospect in this draft. I disagree. I have disagreed since about November when I started scouting these wide receivers. JSN is an elite wide receiver prospect in my mind. Unless A-Rich, like if A-Rich truly, like in this mock, he goes to the Seahawks in the 3rd, I'm finding it very difficult not to go Anthony Richardson over JSN. Do you know what I mean? Like in that scenario, I would find it very difficult to justify not going A-Rich. And also in this mock draft, we see JSN go to the Titans, which, you know, not awful, but certainly not ideal. That could swing the pendulum for me towards Anthony Richardson at the 104. But let's say A-Rich goes to like the Raiders at 7 and JSN goes to the Texans and links back up with CJ. Like I'm going JSN in that scenario.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I second everything that Zach said, and it just really depends on draft capital, honestly. And I think you would know that answer when the draft capital does come, right? If JSN goes to a landing spot, no matter what, that you like, you know, and Anthony Richardson has a landing spot that you like. And I also think in that scenario, Harris, I think a lot of it depends on your team build and team construction. sorry, make your pick here.
Yeah, I'm gonna draft Will Levis here. I don't think he should be available at the 110. It's weird, like I've been labeled as one of the biggest Will Levis haters, but I end up drafting him a lot in our rookie drafts recently. For him to be at the 110, he goes to the Colts with the 4th overall pick, and the Colts pick up Jordan Addison as well. So now Will Levis has Michael Pittman, Jordan Addison, Jonathan Taylor, Jelani Woods. I mean, I find it difficult not to bet on Will Levis here with the 110. It feels like the obvious choice to me.
Yeah. And just to finish off on that thought process there, Harris, is I think it depends on your build as well. You know, if you have two solidified running backs, or sorry, two certified quarterbacks, then, you know, and Jason has landing spot, why not go with Jason? You know, or vice versa. If you need a quarterback and Jason doesn't have the landing spot that you want, why not go with Anthony Richardson? So I think there's definitely ways that you can go here. Thank you for another super chat. I kind of feel the same. Definitely should come down to landing spot. Jason just seems like a stud. Appreciate the answers, and all you guys do. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for the donation. To me, those two players are in the same tier. So what you guys always hear me say is draft the best player available. Well, if players are in the same tier, it will come down to draft capital and landing spot, right? I mean, that is the ultimate decider. So too early to say. Stay fluid with it, because you know, as much as we love watching NFL mock drafts on YouTube, the NFL draft is going to look completely different to what these mock drafts look like. It's not going to be that chalked. But yeah, I did see someone ask, do I have JSN over Waddle or Higgins? I do have JSN over Higgins, not Waddle at this point. But of course, rankings will change once the NFL draft happens. But again, Harris, thank you so much. Appreciate the support and the super chat there.
Yeah.
We see Kincaid at the 111, Flowers at the 112, Downs at the 2-1, Tillman at the 2-2, higher than we have typically seen. Where did Tillman end up going?
Going to the Giants in the 3rd.
Okay, Giants in the 3rd. That's a lot of belief in Tillman there, I feel, at the 2-2. What's the earliest you're taking Tillman if this is his draft capital landing spot, 3rd round to the Giants?
I would say like 2-6 onwards feels comfortable. I think it also depends on who else is available. I would say I would take him over Hyatt. Hyatt went to the Packers in the 2nd. I would say 2-6, depending on where everyone else goes. I feel confident. I think the highest maybe 2-5. Right. But I mean, I said this in the video. If they draft Tillman, if the Giants don't take anyone in the first 2 rounds, and Tillman's that guy, the literally the big body 6'3", 6'2" guy that they've been looking for, he can bins. You know, I can see him jumping Isaiah Hodgins. I can see him jumping Darius Slayton, and then him building a role, gaining a role, and earning a role there for the Giants. And so I think, you know, don't sleep on Tillman if he does go there, but I think 2-6 onwards.
Yeah, tough to pass on Michael Mayer over Tillman. Or, like, to me, A-Chain right now is by far the best value in this draft. And I know people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. But if he goes to the Dolphins, I can't think of a better prospect, and I can't think of a better running back and team fit. If I'm just looking at where would this prospect thrive the most, for A-Chain to go to the Dolphins, I mean, he just fits their system and what they're wanting to do perfectly. And there's really not much competition. We keep talking about A-Chain, likely not to be someone that gets a lot of touches, but it's the quality of touches that he gets. You put him in Miami, I mean, you're competing with Wilson, Raheem Mostert, who will be, 32 at that time? I think that's a great pick at the 2-5.
Yeah, Devin A-Chain. I think this best landing spot. So, where did he go? He went in the 3rd round. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Devin A-Chain goes in the 2-5. I mean, Devin A-Chain goes to the Dolphins in the 3rd round. Do the Dolphins draft another guy next year?
They could, sure. I mean, we said the same thing 2 years ago. So who knows what the Dolphins are doing?
Yeah, because
but they absolutely could, no doubt.
And I understand, the quality. The guy's gonna be a pass catching guy, but what if they draft? And I know this is a big if. What if they draft? They get a Gibbs in the second next year. A Gibbs player in the second. What if they get one of these
Sure.
do it all guys that can pass and be first or second down guy.
I'm gonna make my pick real quick. I'm gonna draft Zach Evans here at the 210. He went to the Browns.
Yeah.
I've said before, I think he plays a Kareem Hunt role. But no, I hear you. I hear you. What my counterpoint to that would be, how often do you feel like Dynasty players change their opinion on market value? Every week during the NFL season? Feels like it. Remember, Dameon Pierce, which I was trying to tell people on this channel, and I and you as well, Dameon Pierce in season was like the RB7 or 8 in the Dynasty community. That's real. Go back. We have charts to look at that. So my reply to that is, yeah, you can sell A-Chain if you feel worried about that. But I think at the 2.5, I think it's fantastic risk reward there. And if you don't want to bet on him long term, feel free to move on from him. Because I feel like Dynasty players don't always think a year in ahead. These are former redraft players or players who are Dynasty and also redraft players, and their value changes every week, right? Breece Hall in the preseason, people worried about him losing touches to Michael Carter. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. People were like, oh, he's not very efficient in the preseason. Michael Carter still... people's minds change every week when we get into the season. So I wouldn't worry so much about what will a team do in a year from now. I think it's something that I'm trying to learn from, but also trying to capitalize on the value. So anyway, that would be my rebuttal to it.
No, that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I think with Devin A-Chain is going to be interesting, especially in a landing spot like that.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more I want A-Chain just to be going to a solidified role, like a solidified backfield that we know what that backfield is going to be. And like if he goes, a name that, you brought up once was the Colts. I was like, okay, I understand that. I understand the Colts because I know
would rather
JT,
him be Colts and Dolphins?
I'm saying his fantasy relevancy feels safer. And I know that's the difference we were talking about. Let me just make a pick here.
I don't understand that.
I'm going to take Kayshawn.
Why would you rather him be stuck behind
I'm
a
saying
top 5 running back than have opportunities? I don't
because I know what his role is going to be. Where
if he does exactly the upside is capped.
No, and I get that, and I'm saying I feel more comfortable understanding him going into a role that I know where his upside is going to be capped, to where I understand, to where if he goes to somewhere like the Dolphins and then he's only capped and then his ceiling feels high, but then is back to the cap with the 1 year, I was like, you know what? I feel like his fantasy relevancy life is better in the Colts than it would be somewhere like I would say the Dolphins a bad example because that is a really good landing spot in our eyes. So I would agree with you. I just think that if he goes to the Texans, I understand his workload. If he goes to a backfield that they need a pass catching guy, I understand that, and I feel like he we know where we can draft him. We know what his ceiling is. Where if we do take him, if he does go to Miami, I think Miami is still going to be like, well, he's only 190 something pounds. We need to get another back. We need to go get somebody better. We need to get somebody that can be a do-it-all or 1-2 punch. So that's how I'm seeing it.
I guess I can't wrap my head around the philosophy that you would rather him go to a solidified role that rather than a team where his upside is unknown. I guess I can't wrap my head around that. I'd rather him be in a place where there is no one who has a job, and then hey, maybe he can be an outlier and
That's the thing.
like reach over what we expect from him, because then his value would be higher than if he's just stuck behind a Jonathan Taylor. I don't really understand that logic personally.
And I understand that because you can trade him away, right? And then you can move him after Miami in year 1. But that's what I'm saying. Like the fantasy life of Devin A-Chain in the solidified backfield of a 1-2 punch guy, like a Dameon Pierce, like a Jonathan Taylor. I feel like his fantasy relevancy, his fantasy life, feels a little bit more comfortable, and that's why I was kind of alluding to the fact that.
Yeah, I think you're just assuming that the Dolphins are going to draft the running back. What happens if you're upset that he's in a spot where there's no one ahead of him, and then they don't draft the running back, or they don't? I guess I'm struggling to understand. Why
I think with a back like
that would
Devin
be a
A-Chain,
preference.
I think a back like Devin A-Chain, I think there's always going to be someone better. That's how I see him.
Sure.
Because of his size, because of his
we're not talking about him as a prospect. We're talking about opportunities that he could have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't get that one, honestly.
That's fair.
So like, let's take the Dolphins out of it then. Let's say I'm trying to find a team that would make sense here.
I would say the Texans are a good team.
Yeah. What I'm saying is him being put in a spot where there's no one clearly ahead of him, like Miami.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You were saying like the Colts. If you want to use the Texans as an example, that's fine. But let's say, I'm trying to find a team that really like would make sense. That doesn't have a clear starter.
Yeah, it's tough.
Anyway,
because there's not that many teams.
I just don't get it, dude. I'm sorry, I don't get that.
That's fair. I'm just talking about. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that his fantasy life is not going to be as strong if he does go to a team that doesn't have a solidified back, because there's always going to be someone that's going to come in that's going to be bigger that a team is going to want, because he's already going against the grain, right? So I'm saying for his fantasy relevancy and his fantasy life, I want that to already be established for Devin. But I also see the other perspective where if he does go to Miami, you can sell him high, right? But that all depends on if he is going to get the opportunity and those valuable touches that we expect for him in the air, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I'm saying.
I don't understand. I mean, it's like I love Xavier Hutchinson. It's like saying I would rather Xavier Hutchinson go into the Eagles because he's the wide receiver 3 there, rather than the Texans.
I mean, I think that's compete. I think that would be different.
I'm saying from a player's value, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't understand why we would want someone going in a solidified with a solidified room already.
I'm not talking about the player's value. I'm talking about his fantasy. That's what I've been saying.
I don't get it.
Fair.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm on the board here. A lot of different ways that I can go. I'll probably go Parker Washington. Went to the Browns, I believe, in this mock draft.
Yeah, he went to the Browns in the 4th round.
I think I'll have a lot of Parker Washington on my teams. Also, I can't believe Luke Musgrave fell to the 3rd round. That's a little bit shocking.
Yeah, it goes to the where did Luke go? He went to the Cowboys. Yeah,
Cowboys in the 2nd round.
Yeah, Cowboys in the 2nd round. Exactly.
T. Gray says dads are fighting. Steven says, I think A-Chain in a defined passing role is good, but in a murky situation, even with upside, can be scary. Yeah. But Miami would be tight. It would be tight.
Yeah.
Running back position is the most polarizing position for prospects. I got to agree. Yeah, for sure. I think we're about to be in the last pick. Tucker Kraft goes off the board. Tank Dell goes off the board. And that is probably it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Did 2 mock drafts for you.
Shout out to the people
had
watching.
Some conversations.
Still 100 people watching.
Still 100 people watching. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely appreciate you guys. If anything, if you want to learn a little bit more about Devin A-Chain, then I would advise you to go sign up to Flock Fantasy. Because I have released an article about Devin A-Chain over there if you're at all interested in looking at it. A lot of articles over there on the site. Use our code LAND when you sign up, LAND. We got articles about how your favorite wide receiver rookie will bust, about Trey Lance, about Devin A-Chain, Dameon Pierce, rookie drafts, Chris Olave, 40-yard dash times, the 2024 class. We got our rankings on there.
That's right.
Age sliders. You can look at rookies only, super flex, 1 quarterback, best ball, soon to be redraft. You can look at different creators, rank them right beside each other. You got bonus content. If anyone out there is from the 1 quarterback gang, we post part 2 of our 1 quarterback mock drafts over there, where you can see the third rounds.
Mm-hmm.
We got videos about the value of rookie picks, reacting to DJ Moore being traded, how to spot breakout candidates, best ball targets. There's a lot of value over here on the page, and you can see the entire team there putting in a lot of effort. And last thing I'll say is there's really cool changes coming to the website soon as well.
Very excited about it.
I don't want to spoil any of it, but very excited about how it's going to continually be improving. So I think that is it for today. I think that's it. Unless there's anything that you wanted to say, Badake, I guess you guys can follow us on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
If you just want some nonsense people just tweeting, the trades they make, opinions on players. In fact, funnily enough, we're talking about Devin A-Chain. I talked a little bit about him on my Twitter recently because 2 of the things that I've heard about A-Chain a lot, the first one is that he's not good through contact. I personally think that these numbers would shock a lot of people. Yards after contact per attempt is, in my opinion, the most accurate way to represent yards after contact, because not everyone gets the same amount of attempts, right? But I think these numbers will shock a lot of people. Better yards after contact per attempt than all of these players here. Some of them are some of your favorite players for next year's class. Raheem Sanders is my RB1 in 2024. People talking about how he didn't have enough rushing attempts. What if I told you he had more rushing attempts than Zach Charbonnet? What if I told you he had more rushing attempts than Tank Bigsby, Jahmyr Gibbs? So go check us out on Twitter. You got both of our accounts there. And I think that should be it for today. That is all she wrote.
All she wrote, baby.
I released a video in your morning time today, and it's gotten a lot of love so far. I really appreciate it. It seems to be a video that you guys love. Go ahead and check that out if you want to see more content from us. And I think that's probably it. JT says, Zach, I made the sandwich with bread toasted on broil mode. Game changer.
On broil mode.
Yeah. Last thing we'll say, if you have never... Okay, look. I'm going to tell you how to make a sandwich and it will change your life. Okay, last thing we'll say, unless you have anything else. What I do is I take 2 pieces of bread, I put them in the oven and I broil. Okay, I get it. You can toast it if you want, but actually, this wouldn't work if you toast it. Put it in the oven, broil, have it toasted on one side, but you're not going to use the toast as the outside of the sandwich. The toast will be the inside of the sandwich. The outside will be the untoasted part. You'll get a crunch like you've never had before. It's incredible, and I promise you'll love it. But anyway, I think that's it for today.
It's so random. Yep, that's it for today. Huge love, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we see you mañana for a Dynasty startup.
Yep.
As always, and we'll see if we do some sort of ranking thing, if we can find one. Last time it was a bit It was a bit too long.
Yeah.
We need a short
little
one.
bit too long last time.
We need a short one.
All right, guys. All love. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you soon. And yeah. Bye.
Huge love.